maybe you can relate to this. You had a brilliant idea. You were able to pursue that idea, put it into action, get it out into the market, create a great company. That company has now grown 25, 50 employees, somewhere in there, and you have been stalled. Like, the company is just not growing. The last couple of hires you've had, you're like, why did I add them to the team? It's not quite a great mesh. I'm not exactly clear on where or how best to grow this. I've had a couple of consultants come in, business consultants, and they've said, do this or that. That is a great time to invite in an unconventional thinker coach, because you're at that place where all of your skills and working in all of your strengths has got you to this point. There's a spot. And what made me think of this conversation this week was the fact I had an opportunity to have lunch with a past client. I only typically get to see him 2 or 3 times a year at this point because he's so busy, and he just needs to chat every once in a while. Let's just put it that way, to catch up on kind of where he's growing and the new things that he's up to, and just review if a few things are going in alignment with what he wants and what we've always had as his goals. And in that conversation, I was reminded of where he started when he called. The day he called me, he was attempting to implement some software, and it was going totally to heck. He had 2 employees that were actually purposefully sabotaging him, and he is trying to add in this productivity software. He also had a family member, not actually even in the business, but who felt he shouldn't be running this company because it had been a family-owned business and he had been the person chosen to take it over and been given that opportunity. He'd bought the company actually from his father. But some other family members didn't feel positive about that. So here he was. He has this outside brother, I think it was a brother-in-law actually, who was sabotaging him, working to build up an alliance of people against him succeeding with the business. He had internal strife and conflict, and he reached out and he's like, do you think my ADHD might have anything to do with this? And I don't know, start a conversation. We dove in. It wasn't just his ADHD, yes, that mixed into it. What also mixed in is that his strengths were so strong that his weaknesses were so weak, and he'd avoided them. He'd avoided those weaknesses. And so what was interesting with him is we went through and we actually identified those weaknesses, and we realized 2 or 3 of them he could build up and he could strengthen easily. They were close to some strengths, and so we could reach off of those. And we did that. He did that. He worked on those. We found programs, systems. It was incredible. And then on the flip side, we also hired 2 incredible, we fired the 2 sabotagers. He did that. And then he replaced them with people that were in better alignment to fill in those weak spots that he had. And we found people he could really, really trust. One was actually a friend. And that turned out incredible. And ironically, being super focused on the business and bringing in that more positive energy and that confidence helped push back the family thing that was going on. And before he knew it, he didn't just have momentum. He had a company that went from about 35 employees up to now about 150. And it's incredible what he is doing in the world with his company. Like, I so want to tell you all the details, and I can't, but I can just tell you he is amazing in what he's doing. And I am so lucky to have the chance to meet with him a couple times a year and to hear what's new and going on in his life. So if you can relate to this story in some ways, in little bits and pieces, you are not alone, number 1. And number 2, you might greatly benefit from working with an unconventional leadership coach. And I am that coach. I focus directly on that unconventional, outside of the box thinking and building and working on creating systems, next steps, opportunities, the growth that is necessary for the next level of success. I am so grateful for what I do and so excited about the difference I make in people's lives. So if you want to learn more about that kind of coaching, schedule a free consult with me. Let's play in your sandbox for a little while and find out what we can do differently. I'm Joy Gina, International Neurodiversity Coach and Unconventional Leadership Coach. Have an awesome day. Bye.